Hi, in this video, I'm going to explain the difference between the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell, and some of their examples. Now, what is really the true distinction between a prokaryotic cell and a eukaryotic cell? So, how do you distinguish the two? Now, there are a lot of distinctions between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. But one of the most important things that you need to remember is the presence of membrane-bound nucleus and other organelles. Or the other word is the compartmentalization. So in a eukaryote or a eukaryotic cell, yes, there is a presence of a membrane-bound nucleus and other organelles, whereas in a prokaryotic cell or a prokaryote, there is no presence of a membrane-bound nucleus and other organelles. Now take a look at the illustration here. So as you can see, this shows the structure of a eukaryotic cell, which is found here on your left, and the prokaryotic cell, which is found here on your right. Now the nucleus, which is generally found at the central portion of the cell or at the center of the cell, as you can see in the eukaryotic cell, this portion right here, the blue portion, the nucleus, which houses the genetic material or the DNA, is enclosed by this yellow membrane envelope called the nuclear envelope. Okay, whereas in a prokaryotic cell, the nucleus or the genetic material is not membrane bound, or it is just scattered here in this region called the nucleoid. Now, aside from the nucleus, which is membrane bound in a eukaryotic cell and not membrane bound in prokaryotic cells, other organelles such as mitochondrion, the powerhouse of the cell, the ribosomes, the endoplasmic reticulum, the Golgi body or Golgi apparatus in a eukaryotic cell are also enclosed in a membrane. So therefore, there is a compartmentalization, or the organelles in a eukaryotic cell are compartmentalized. Okay, whereas in a prokaryotic cell, the other organelles such as again ribosomes, the mitochondria are not enclosed by a membrane in a prokaryotic cell. So all the organelles in a prokaryotic cell are just scattered here in the cytoplasm of the cell. So again, that's the main distinction between eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. So again, eukaryotic cell, it has a membrane-bound nucleus, or also known as a true nucleus, whereas the prokaryotic cell has no membrane-bound nucleus or no true nucleus. Now, other distinctions between prokaryotes and eukaryotes include under DNA. So prokaryotes, they have generally circular DNA, whereas the eukaryotes have linear DNA. And then under reproduction, okay, the prokaryotes have this process called binary fission, whereas the eukaryotes have mitosis and meiosis. Okay, also under average size, prokaryotes are generally smaller compared to eukaryotes. So here are some of the examples of the prokaryotes or organisms having a prokaryotic cell. So all bacteria are prokaryotic. Same is true with archaea bacteria. So here are some of the examples of bacteria. So we have Staphylococcus aureus, Tetracoccus, here E. coli or the Escherichia coli. So these are bacteria and they are all prokaryotic organisms, or they have prokaryotic cells. Whereas also the archaea bacteria, okay, archaea bacteria are characterized by being able to survive in a harsh or extreme environments here in our Earth. For example, the thermophiles, they are able to withstand extreme heat, extreme or hot environments. Halophiles, they are able to survive extreme salinity or a very salty environment. And also the acidophiles, they are able to survive some of the most acidic environments here in our planet. So both of these bacteria, and again, Archaeobacteria, they are all prokaryotes. And by the way, these organisms are single-celled organisms, or they are composed of only one cell. Now, under eukaryotes or eukaryotic organisms, organisms that have eukaryotic cells, we have the animals or the organisms belonging in kingdom Animalia, plants belonging in kingdom Plantae, fungi, and protists. Protists are single-celled eukaryotic organisms. So, we humans, since we belong to kingdom Animalia, we are considered eukaryotes. So again, to summarize our lesson, so again, eukaryotic cells, they are compartmentalized. So their organelles or their internal environment are compartmentalized. Whereas in a prokaryotic cell, everything is in scattered because they are not compartmentalized. And the prokaryotes are examples of prokaryotes or prokaryotic organisms are bacteria and archaeobacteria. Eukaryotes, examples of them are animals, plants, fungi, those mushrooms, okay, and then protists. Okay, so that's it. I hope you've learned something. Thank you for listening and see you on the next video.